From Wana Brands, welcome to Enhance Your Life. I'm your host, Jonathan Small, and each week I talk to people from all sorts of professions and backgrounds about how cannabis has enhanced their lives and how this healing plant can enrich your life too. Hey everybody, welcome to the Enhance Your Life podcast. I am your host, John Small. And you know, seniors are using cannabis more than ever before. In fact, in 2020, the number of adults over 65 using cannabis increased 18% according to the National Survey of Drug Use and Health. And my guest this week is Karen Lustman, and she knows all about this. Karen is the president and chief executive officer of Senior High, which is a women-owned health and wellness company that advocates for safe and effective cannabis products for seniors. Karen, welcome to the Enhance Your Life podcast.
Thank you so much for asking me to join you. I'm really excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah, it's such a burgeoning part of cannabis, something that we don't hear as much about, that seniors are really turning to cannabis for a number of reasons. Before we get into that, I want to just tell me a little bit about what Senior High is and why it's something that you are so passionate about.
You know, it's interesting because I think any time you talk to somebody within the cannabis industry, there was always a story as to how they got there. And my story is probably the same as a lot of other people in that I had a very bad fall, which resulted in basically chronic pain to the point that I spent time in a wheelchair, walkers, canes, pain management doctors, acupuncture. I had a spinal cord stimulator, all of this stuff that I was going through for about 7 years, just trying to get over the fact that my legs hurt so bad, I could barely walk. And so every doctor that I went to tried something different and it didn't work. And then I was taking a ton of pills, pain medication. And my husband asked me one time when I was up to like 8 pills a day, he says, Karen, is this helping? And I said, you know what? I don't know, but I'm afraid not to take them because if I didn't take the pills, the pain might get worse.
Right.
And I realized then it's like, okay, this is not good. About the same time, my son-in-law introduced me to the benefits of smoking pot. I had never done that before. At age 65, I was
never tried
virgin.
A pot version, wow.
Never tried it. No, I'm from Indiana. We didn't do that, you know? So those hippies in California did all that stuff. But so anyway, he introduced me to his bong. I swear he had it for 30 years. And I had ever cleaned it, but I didn't know what it was. And he says, just, you know, put your mouth over and breathe out, put your nose over and breathe in. So I just put the whole thing in my mouth and breathed up a bunch of smoke, basically. I coughed and sputtered. But the amazing thing was within a minute, I was pain-free. It was miraculous. Now, I was also higher than a kite, which was a wonderful euphoric feeling.
So it didn't scare you, that feeling? Because that could be scary to some people.
It didn't scare me. But after about 12 hours, and I got past the high, I was running around kissing everybody and
eating, munching,
smiling. Yeah. So my journey started with the thought, oh my God, I have to have more of this, but I can't get high. I have a job, got to go to work, got to drive, got to be responsible. And so I just started talking to everybody I could find in the cannabis industry. I started taking certification classes. I was hanging out in dispensaries. It's like I was the dispensary groupie. But finally, and it took us probably, I would say, a couple of years for me to hit the right regimen that would relieve my pain, yet I could function.
Right.
I found it. 5 years later, I haven't changed a thing. I still maintain that same regimen every day for what I do to relieve my pain, and it works. So that's how my journey began. And then I just started telling everybody that would listen to me, which is mostly people my own age, because that's who you hang with. I had friends calling and saying, can you pick up product for me when you go to the dispensary? Because they're not going into a dispensary. So That was the first stigma
Now,
that we had.
why? Yeah, because they weren't okay. So why weren't they going to a dispensary? They were just scared of the experience.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first time I went, I took my husband. I don't know what I expected, but it certainly wasn't anything like that. I mean, the place was gorgeous.
yeah,
I think my first time at a dispensary, I said to my husband, we spent almost 45 minutes with this young man telling me every product that they had in the dispensary for pain. I've never spent 45 minutes with any doctor.
yeah.
You know, look what I've paid them and how many times I've gone to see them. It just opened my eyes and it became such a passion. I had to get that message out.
Right.
So, the dispensary thing, it's like we were all afraid to go in the first time. Once we go there, then it's great. We take seniors to dispensaries a lot. We even took a bunch of seniors to a smoking lounge or a cannabis lounge so that they could either smoke or try a gummy or, one of the beverages. And once they got there, oh my God, they were delighted to have this opportunity and to realize these products are not going to harm them. They're going to make them feel so much better. So our charge is twofold. Number one is to get seniors to understand the medicinal benefit of cannabis. And then number two, also to enjoy it,
Yeah.
to enjoy what all is out there, to go to the classes that are offered. We do classes as well too, and really have it become a conversation within your group, within your bubble as to, wow, I'm missing something great these days. So, the stigma is going away and now it's basically, we're all in this learning phase. What do I take for this, that, and the other?
So what are the exact services that Senior High offers?
Okay, as far as what we offer is because of course, the stigma or the FDA saying we cannot really market products. What we do is we just tell you our reviews. We have a lot of seniors who try different products, and let's just say Mary Jo calls us today and she goes, Karen, this tincture that you recommended, oh my gosh, I feel like it was the oil for the Tin Man. I'm feeling so much better. We try to push recommendations from seniors to seniors. So if we will go to a company, we cannot get the information as to what exactly this medication is going to do for you, whether it's vape or tincture or capsule. But as we share our own experiences, seniors trust seniors. And we talk to them about what they can use for sleep, general wellness, chronic pain, all different types of things. But it's solely based on our recommendations.
Right. And
So
so peer review, sort of like a reviews of different products, and you can access that through your website. And is there an app as
Yes.
well through your website?
Yes, exactly. On our website, we also have Facebook and Instagram presence, or there's a number on there too. I do set up consultations where I can just talk to a person about going into a dispensary for the first time or using tinctures, whether they're hemp, CBD. Sometimes you have to have THC mixed in that if you're dealing with some sort of chronic pain situation. So I basically talk them through how to talk to your doctor, how to walk into a dispensary, how to get the products you need for whatever is ailing you at the moment.
And you're more than just having an interest and a passion for this. You also have some training, right? I mean, you're not just
Yes.
doing this winging it.
Well, it's interesting because I would love to say I've got a PhD in it. I sort of feel like it. However, with cannabis, what I've done is taken several certification courses.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through the UCI program for the Physicians Council on CBD. I'm also one of my most influential thought leaders within the industry is Dr. Dustin Sulak. And I have taken his certification program as well. And basically, they are my go-to. Whenever I have questions or somebody calls me and says, what would I do for something like this? I contact the doctors that I know and I ask them, what would you recommend? And so that's always my backup. But my husband and I both attend seminars at least once a week on what is the latest and greatest information out there. So we stay on top of the information, and then we just send it out to everybody else via our website, newsletters, Facebook, whatever we do to reach out to our followers.
Right. What are the reasons in your experience that most seniors are turning to cannabis? Obviously, in your own personal story, it was to manage pain.
Right.
That must, I would
Exactly.
imagine that is one of the main reasons that people use it at that, or maybe not.
It's interesting because I thought that would be the main reason. Certainly was for me. However, the most questions we get every single day is about what can I do about sleeping?
Mm,
Whether you have trouble getting to sleep or whether you wake up at 2 a.m. and start worrying about the laundry or whatever. So sleep is always our number one concern. Then I would say golfing and pickleball. I think that more for the cannabis industry
they want
than
it.
it. Yes.
What do you mean? Would they want to know how to use it to improve their game or to?
No, well, I mean, certainly you could do that, but no, it's like, the arthritis
Oh, right, the
issues,
pain.
the back pain, I hurt my elbow, but,
Yeah,
you know, because we are not your parents, grandparents, it's
yeah,
like everybody who are senior, or shall I say, seniors today are active. I mean, we are busy.
yeah.
And between, pickleball and acting classes and, grandkids and everything else, we're always on the move. Unfortunately, we don't bounce anymore like we used to. And so that's where the products definitely come into play.
So, what are their biggest hangups? You mentioned a lot of them
hmm
are nervous about going to dispensaries. So, but
hmm
what are some of the sort of barriers you see to entry for seniors in a lot of ways?
Number one, when you walk into a dispensary, oh my gosh, there's so many products. And so, you don't have the trust built up when you are talking to a 25-year-old bud tender and you're telling them about the fact that you have scoliosis and you have tennis elbow or whatever. I mean, they don't get our pain. They don't have pain. And I know they've been trained in all of this. So I think it's that level of confidence within a dispensary. That's number one. The choices are just absolutely overwhelming. Number two, and then we also hear a lot, I want something for this, but I don't want to take THC.
Yeah,
And anything that has THC in it kind of sets off that alarm bell with us as seniors. We actually talk about that a lot in that when we are introducing THC, certainly it has to be a slow process and it has to be a very low process. So, we're going to go uh, even below what the medical standards say for introducing THC, because the last thing we want is somebody to be unsteady on their feet or just not thinking properly. So that's an issue.
yeah,
But we definitely, there's times you have to have that if you're going to be dealing with chronic pain
yeah.
or
I was gonna say, like,
migraines.
when
hmm
you found that workable place between being able to
Yeah.
manage your pain but also be able to function during the day, was there still THC involved? Was it just a very minor dose of THC, or had what?
You, you know, our with senior high, we start low and slow.
Yeah,
What Karen did is she started high and out of her mind, because so everything we talk about, somebody's done it or somebody's made that mistake within
right.
our, yeah. So no, I have to use THC and that is for the chronic pain, of course. And I use vape pens. My regimen every day is I have tinctures. I take 2 of them every morning. And then I have vape pens that I use for levels of pain. And some might be 10% and some might be 20% and some might be 40% THC, depending upon where my level of pain is. So I've gotten comfortable with it. And for some reason, my system, when I'm using that THC, it does not make me high, but it certainly cuts the pain back within my body. And so, and I just tell them my own experiences. And hopefully they get to the point where they trust it, they understand it. But if you start low and move them up, you can do it very safely and very efficiently.
Talk to me about what you about reading labels and dosing. What should a senior, or really anybody looking at cannabis, look for? What do you tell them?
Okay. So one of the things that I tell them is that we have a chart, and let's just start with 1-to-1. So a 1-to-1 tincture means it's basically got 50% CBD and 50% THC in it.
Mm.
So that's actually a very high dosage. And so with the senior, what we try to do is get them involved in something that has possibly 12 to 20% CBD, and then maybe 1% THC.
Mm.
So keep them on a low dosage. Basically, all of the leaders that we follow say to start with no more than a 2.5% dosage of THC with seniors. And then, we can work our way up. In a week or so, how you're going to feel.
What other questions do you get from your audience, your customers?
So a lot of times it's just the fact that I can't talk to my doctor about this.
Mm.
So what do I do? Or how would it relate to different medications? From the very beginning, we always tell all of our people to make sure you are letting your doctors know. So we did a guide on how to talk to your doctor about your usage of CBD. That is slowly turning, but it is turning. I mean, most of the doctors I know now, I tell every one of them, I broke my leg and I used cannabis instead of the Norco that they gave me.
Right.
And I tell them I'm not going to use that. So I think that's a big concern, is what will my doctor say? I think the most fun one that we work with is, oh my God, I can't wait to tell the kids. Because it's shock factor of my kids say to people, my mom's in the cannabis industry. She's kind of lost her mind.
Right.
But it's that shock factor. So that's sort of fun to play with.
Yeah. How do your kids feel about it now?
Number one, I think they're still a little bit embarrassed because of my level of passion and how many times I come up in a conversation or they, really talk about it. But also, I'm their first call when they have a migraine or if they have arthritis, and they're all getting to the age now that they're starting to see some of these. All of my kids use tinctures. All of our family uses tinctures, and just about everybody that we know say to us, including our family, what a great thing that you're doing. And I love being able to work with people and tell them the good news about what is out there with the products.
Well, it is really a terrific thing you're doing. If people want to find out more about it, where should they go?
Okay, our website is always the first go-to. It's senior-high.com. And then, of course, we have our Facebook too, senior-high. There is a place on the website where you can contact us. So if you have specific ailments or issues or concerns that you would like to talk to somebody about, please give us a call. We would love to have a conversation. And we're here for you. And we want you to enjoy, your time and the quality of life that you can have when you feel good.
Yeah, talk to me about that. How has cannabis enhanced your life?
Oh my goodness. It's interesting because we met with a family member we hadn't seen in about 20 years. And I was telling her, I just turned in my big birthday, 70,
Wow.
the big one.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I tell people it is amazing to me because I feel better now than I did when I was 50. And I feel like my health keeps improving. My quality of life keeps improving. I don't miss anything because I'm sick or I don't feel good. But I do believe that cannabis has made a difference in my entire being, not only physically, but also mentally. And I just cannot say enough good things about feeling good.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do.
Well, that's wonderful. Karen Lussman has a lust for life. I love it. Karen, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Great. Thank you. It was our pleasure.
Enhance Your Life is brought to you by Wana, the #1 infused product in North America. Wana's entire process is designed to deliver the same great experience time after time. They have spent years fine-tuning their recipes so that their products are delicious, consistent, and potent. For more information, head on over to WANAbrands.com. That's WANA, W-A-N-A, brands.com.